G'day everybody, welcome to part 12 of the Team Associated B5M build series. In this part we will be soldering up wires. Now I did say that I will show you I'll be putting in the ESC and the receiver and then showing you how to solder the wires. What I have done is I've gone ahead and just installed the ESC and receiver off camera. I mean, really it's a no-brainer of a job. However, when you are putting in your electronics, especially if you have to solder up wires like I have to, you will need to be mindful of where you put your electronics. So in this case here, I'll just zoom in. So as you can see here, what I've done, I've got the ESC on the right hand side and the receiver on the left. And so I've put them in a certain area, a little bit forward and so forth, because I have to be able to get the wires and everything to not touch the battery strap and so forth. Also, what I've also done, as you can see, I've got the battery in with the foam. Now the foam here is thicker because you can move it, so you can adjust the weight bias of the battery. That's a tuning, that's something you can do for tuning. What I've done is I've put the battery as far back as possible, so that way what I will then do is I have measured how long each wire has to be to reach, so the positive and negative. And I've also soldered on the capacitor, and I've just gone ahead and soldered on the battery power wires. So what I will then now do is I will go ahead and I will go ahead with soldering up the motor wires with you. Now this could be a little bit awkward for me. See how we go. So first of all, one of the things you will need obviously is a soldering iron. You don't really need this, but it helps. This is for holding wires. You need your wires, obviously solder. Now this is an optional thing, but this helps. It's flux, it's like a paste. But careful with flux because it is an acid, and it can cause metal things to rust. So I'll show you how to apply it. First of all, what we'll do is we'll put a little flux onto the ESC. So what I'll do is I'll zoom in. Okay. So we don't need a lot of flux. This is just a little bit of plastic that I'm using, a bit of plastic tubing. So as you can see, I'll be putting not a lot, just a little bit on the tabs there, because what that'll do is that'll help the solder go in between the tabs there, because you can see the little slots. Alright, so what we then do, just wipe off that bit of flux. Okay. Now, unfortunately, I don't have my, I have like a little steel wool cleaner for the tip, but I just got this damp rag just to clean the tip with. Alright, so what we do is we put the soldering iron on, and that helps the flux go down. When you're doing this too, be mindful of where like your little wires are and that, so the soldering iron doesn't melt the wires, because then you've just done an ESC. Alright, now what we'll do is what's called tinning. There's another word for it, but I forget what it's called, but I call it tinning. So we put the solder in here. Make sure it fills it up well. Like that, so we do the next ones. Alright, so we keep doing that. Alright, so as you can see, we've got the tabs soldered. Now what we'll do is we'll just move this aside and we will do the wires. So what I'll do is I'll just have to zoom this out a little bit. So it's the same procedure again, but in this case what I'll do is I'll tip it in a bit of flux. Don't need a lot. Some people say, oh, using flux, that's cheating. No, it's not cheating. If it was cheating, then it wouldn't be available. Yeah, you know, it's there to make the job easier. Okay, I did the. Okay, there's the last one. Okay, so now what we do, I'll just zoom it in a little bit. Okay, that's okay. So again, same procedure as last time. Just like that. You do want a good quality iron. I think I forget how much I paid for this one, but it wasn't expensive, but it's a good quality one. It has variable temperature. Forget what it is, something between something and 500 degrees Celsius. Not sure what that is in Fahrenheit for those who measure temperature in Fahrenheit, but still fairly hot nonetheless. Okay. Alright, so last end. Pretty easy. Now, with brushless motors, there are three. If you've never done hooked up a brushless motor, they're what they're called three-phase motors. So that's why we have three wires. So on your speed controller and on your motor, you have. If I can just zoom in, just bear with me, people. Oh, too far. Okay, so on there you can see it has A, B, C written there, and it'll say the exact same thing on the motor. So if I can just sorry about that, folks. So you can see where it says A, B, C on the speed controller. Just give me a sec. Just gotta clean the tip. Okay. So now we just do quite simply just solder on the tab. Solder the wire onto the tab. Might just bump up the temperature a little bit, just give it a bit more heat and make it easier to melt. So just bear with me, folks. Alright. Might use my pliers. this part. Move wires out of the way. Alright. Of course it's going to fight me the whole way, isn't it? Alright. Come on. Well, that's just terrible, isn't it? It's not exactly easy. Come on. Alright. So the next wire may not look too good at the moment, but I will fix this up again off camera if it's not very good. Alright, so that went on a little bit better. Like that, and you just hold it for a few seconds. Alright, where's the black wire? There it is. Okay, so like I said, you know, it's straightforward. It does help to have a little bit of practice with soldering. Excuse me if my hands are in the way. I just got to get to this. That one's on, but as you can see it's touching. I will fix that off camera, alright? So don't panic, people. Alright, so now oh, wrong way. Yeah, when I'm trying to do things a little bit quicker on camera, nothing seems to go right. Okay, so now we will zoom in a little bit. Alright, so I'll just zoom in that far. Now I do have to put a sensor wire on. I'll do that off camera as well, but now for the time being we will focus on the motor wires. I think I might just put a little more solder on that. Just give me a second, folks. Alright. It's easier to put the motor wires on than what it is to put it on the ESC. Alright, come on, melt. There we go. Like that. Alright folks, so sorry if that was a little bit off camera. It's a little bit hard to try and move the wires. So as you can see, those are the wires soldered on. So that's pretty much it for this part. Stay tuned. What we'll do is I'll just go through with gluing the tyres. Alright, stay tuned everyone.